Sometimes nature gives us everything that we need. We've been living in a little stone cabin in the middle of nowhere, deep in the Australian bush. In this time, we've connected to the earth, its waters, the stars and moon as a kind of medicine, nurtured by nature's touch. Staying warm and cooking on an open fire, reading by candlelight and taking the time to slow down, connect and be still. Mostly, we've learnt to notice all of the beauty of life everywhere around us.
Tell me, Juliet, I think it's a start. You got a voice just like an angel, quit ripping me apart.
But it was so refreshing.
Is blue, I'd like to paint it green. You remind me of how soft I used to be. Singing
The colours of the winter sunsets are so bright. Down here, closer to the southern pole, they take longer and hang suspended in the sky for a beautiful moment. It always feels like time is standing still. It gives us perspective or understanding as the sky fades slowly across the land.
I would like to ask you.
It's funny for us to experience the cold. At home, our winters are mild, but here we love the feeling of breathing the freezing alpine air deep in our chests. We travelled here, driving down the big continent of Australia, from the rainforests through the highlands to the Great Western Plains. The three of us in the car, laughing, listening to music, and reflecting. We actually lost our grandma last week, and we travelled all of this way for her funeral in our mum's hometown. These weeks have been filled with some sorrow, but so much beauty. It's been beautiful to connect to the landscape that our mum and grandma grew up in, on Bundjalung Country. It's actually wattle season, and the bright yellow flowers are highlighted through the bush. It is an underlayer shrub that holds so much biodiversity. We spent time collecting wattle to honour our grandma. It's funny to realise that in this new landscape we didn't recognise any of the plants or weeds, or even understand the ecosystems around us. It feels strange but kind of fun to be a guest in a landscape, to see everything in awe and disbelief as we tread softly on the land. Julia has been drawing the colours, and each shade feels new, the earthy oranges and soft eucalyptus greens. Everything is so different from home. On the farm we can look and recognise every plant. I guess this makes us realise we have a special connection to the land, and we're so lucky to live and care for the trees, the soil and the animals. Landscapes are so much a part of a person, as people are so much a part of a landscape. It's such a beautiful thing to feel rooted to a spot, to hold it within us, but also be held by the land. There is also a certain gravity of the landscape that you are born in. You grow and you learn with it, anchored and rooted. It's that realization that you are part of the system, not a dominant species, but existing as a small part of the grand web of nature. We buried our grandma and learnt that there is a lot of beauty in this, returning to the land. Loss brings so many emotions, but this week we've been focusing on the lessons we're learning from it. We've been learning from the landscape that our mum and grandma grew up in. We've been learning stories of our grandma that we'd never heard before, and on all of this, we've been learning about ourselves. We've been learning that people who are gone will always be held within us and nature. We are all shaped by the landscapes. We grow from them, and we return to them. Grandma is gone, but we can look at the sun setting and see her presence in that. There was a special moment when we were playing cards by the fire and looked out the window to a bright pink sky that highlighted the world. Watching the sky fade as I laugh with my sister and mum, breathing the coolest air and watching the reflections dance across the water. This sunset was extra special though, because as the bright pink light painted the swaying grass, we got a bar of reception and a message that would change everything. So we were in a cabin in the Highlands and we got a text that Moth had twin babies. So we rushed home as fast as we could to meet these two little angels. I can't believe it, they are so sweet. I'm wearing a princess dress as a celebration because if you've got two baby goats that are falling asleep on your lap, then you can't wear anything else except for your most extravagant gown. They're so sweet. Moth already trusts us so much. She's off foraging somewhere and she leaves them here to sleep in our lap and so that she doesn't have to worry about predators. So they're twin little girls and they have so much character already. This one looks almost exactly the same as Moth, but she has way more white on her and a little white splodge on her head. And then this one is white with little brown splodges.
laying here with the winter sun on my face, with two tiny baby goats on my lap, and wearing the most extravagant princess dress I can find. This is the best feeling in the world.
I can hear you sigh. I feel the callus on your left hand when we breathe together.
We're trying to think of names for them, and it's so hard because they have so much character already, and we need to find the name that's perfect for them. We would love to hear any of your suggestions, please. Julia's thinking about Moonbeam, the brown one, and then this little white splodgy one I think is a paisley. What do you think? Look at her little toe. What do you think? What do you think your name is? They go in and out of these moods where they're either so sleepy that they just fall asleep everywhere, or they're so energetic and they bounce around following their mama. Moth is the best mother. She just loves them so much, and she gives them a little kiss and then she leaves them here and they fall asleep, and we look after them while she goes and has a forage. But it seems like they're in a little cycle where one of them gets really sleepy like this and falls asleep in our lap for about half an hour, and meanwhile the other one runs off and is bouncing around everywhere and full of energy, and then in half an hour they'll swap places and she'll get tired and she'll come have a nap, and this little one will get all energetic. I can't believe Moth is just off foraging and she trusts us to babysit her little girl. So special. Such an honor.
Tell me what you think.
It's funny. We just spend our whole day out here babysitting these tiny little goats, and it feels like the most important thing in the world to protect them from predators like foxes or eagles or crows. But it also feels like the most beautiful thing in the world to do right now, to just sit out here, watch the clouds go by, and connect with these beautiful little babies. Yeah. I just can't believe it. Wanna go bouncy time? Being back on the farm is really inspiring. I think coming back to these little angels has just brought so much inspiration for the future. We have so much excitement for future projects and all the things that we've been trying to get done. It feels like a new beginning, really.
I feel the callus on your left hand when we breathe together. You cannot be human. Oh no. I can't keep projecting.
I can't believe that one day they're going to be out there in the paddocks, regenerating the bush with us, eating weeds, and they'll probably be mothers of their own one day. But right now, they're just so small and innocent. Can you go see your mummy? Can you go see your mummy? You're sleepy up here, big man.
The music in this video is by Juliet Sunflower, whose fairy songs feel like a soundtrack to cuddling with goats and picking wildflowers. Thank you for watching, and thank you so much to our patrons for your support on our journey.